Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. You guys are sounding nervous already. It's not yet Ramadan, it's only Sha'ban still. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Bismillah walhamdulillah wa salatu wa salamu ala rasulillah wa ba'd. Honorable ulama, qurra, huffadh, our honorable guest, on behalf of our masjid, our community, we say ahlan wa sahlan wa marhaban bikum. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accept your coming here. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accept this program. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless it in such a way that inshallah we are able to equip ourselves and train ourselves for this noble sunnah of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam during the month of Ramadan, and that is Taraweeh. To be honest, I don't think Sheikh really needs an introduction, but just on behalf of our committee as well as our musallis, we'd like to extend our heartfelt and sincerest gratitude to Sheikh. Sometimes we take it for granted. We feel like, these ulama just come at the beck and call of our fingertips whenever we need them, but they have lives, they have children, they have commitments. Last year, I know Sheikh mentioned to me himself that, Maulana, the amount of travel I've done this year, it's put me back in the projects that I wish to have established in Cape Town or to start off in Cape Town during the year. And I feel like, I set out goals for the year and I'm not meeting them because I'm traveling so much, but alhamdulillah. And we say Jazakumullah that despite that, Sheikh has accepted our invitation to come here tonight for this workshop as well as our Sirah Jalsa tomorrow. And without further ado, inshallah, we hand you over in none other than our honorable guest, Qari Ismail, Londt, Huffadh's hands. Inshallah, who will then conduct our workshop for us. Bismillah ta'ala, falyatafaddal mashkura.
Bismillah walhamdulillah wa salatu wa salamu ala Sayyidina Rasulillah wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa man ittaba'a huda. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. We thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for the ni'mah of Iman, for making us of the ummah of Sayyidina Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, the ummah of the Holy Quran. And we thank Him for all His favors, those that we are aware of and those that we are not aware of. And we thank Him for enabling us to be here this evening for no worldly purpose, aim or gain, but hopefully through some presentation and interaction to draw closer to His word and attempt to prepare ourselves adequately or better in order to present and engage with His word in a better manner. Ameen ya Rabbil Alameen. The poster that you may have seen addresses the leading imams of Taraweeh in relation to the emotional states and aspects of the physical state connected to vocalization and reading. So we are not to, inshallah, discuss or address your actual recitation, the quality of your pronunciation, the level of your pace in presentation. That's for a different space. That's for your teachers, that's for your colleagues, for the imams. And just basically, the foundation of any good rendition of the Quran is clarity. The clarity and the quality of the sounds of the letters we recite. That's the foundation of any good recitation. The framework that we work within, and have to work within because it's part of the unique nature of the Quran, the framework is the rules of tajweed. And then thirdly, the medium of expression is your voice and what you choose to do with it and how you choose to do with it, whatever you choose to. Okay, I hope you're taking notes, sir. Okay. So, the quality of the recitation, as far as tajweed and pronunciation is concerned, that we obviously cannot do in one session. That is your space, and some of you are expertly guided and have experience in that regard. And then where the actual content of Quran is concerned and leading salah, the imamah aspect, that's where fiqh is concerned, and you have your teachers and your guides and your imams to guide you there. Because it is a prayer, and a unique prayer. And it has potential for great spiritual growth, or potential to be a medium for great spiritual growth. And it's part of our responsibility to keep that in mind. Because we get so engrossed and drawn into the work we have to prep. You with me? That we may be sidetracked from the broader picture. And the broader picture is we are leading our community in ibadah. So that aspect is there, and the spiritual aspect is there. And then the ayat of the night, the ayat of every individual night, and what they are calling towards, what they are reminding us of, what they are speaking of. If we do not have a background in Arabic, then we have access to so many mediums of resource for some idea of what we are to render for that night, to make it more rich and meaningful. So that's clear. You with me there, right? Okay. But we are not here for that. We are here to address nerves and stress and breathing and vocal fatigue. Are you here for that? Yeah? Okay. So I've put something together, and I can share this with Monla and share it with you afterwards too, because it's a reminder for myself as well. In teaching, I speak a lot, and obviously I have opportunity at times in the masjid that I am co-imam at, also to address the congregation, and whether it's in teaching or in lecturing or in reciting, we use our voices more than the average citizen. We just use it for speaking. On a low key, speaking naturally, my vocal cords, your vocal cords, now we have to start all over. Because perspective. Now, and maybe a good recap for you all, no problem. On a natural level, easy vocalization, my vocal cords, yours, ours, vibrate a minimum of 60 times per second. Per second, with every sound I'm making. And the louder I go, the higher I go, it could go up to 2,000 times per second. Say Subhanallah. Allah's creation. And it's all muscles. And muscles can become fatigued. But muscles can also be developed. And muscles need nourishment. And muscles need hydration. Like any athlete. Any of you seriously into sport, play for teams, etc.? Cricket, soccer, rugby, even table tennis? Cyber? No, that's only your fingers. Maybe your brain and your eyes. But physical activity is important. Anyway, that's... So we're not here to address... So, okay. 5 points, and each point has 5 notes. Okay, making it simple, and I'll share this with you, but additional content, it's only points I have here. Number 1, before vocalizing, before reciting, before leading, it's important, number 1, to hydrate. Hydrate. And fizzy drinks, it's not really hydrating because the sugar dehydrates you. So hydration. Research it. Water, and you can also gain additional hydration through fruits and veggies. Like any athlete, the muscles require that energy and is drawn from the water you take in. You with me? And the more dehydrated you are, the more you're going to struggle, even mentally. Right? For mental exercise and work and concentration, you need to be hydrated. Your focus may become impaired the more dehydrated you are. So that's number one. Sleep is key. You need to be able to rest appropriately, and the best sleep is the sleep of the night after the qaylula, after the siesta. And if you research, time between 10 p.m. and 2 a.m. is of the best sleep. Reciters like Dr. Na'ina, recently if you check online, he'll speak, there's some interviews where they ask him advice, and then he says, beyond what you drink or eat or not, sleep fills out and creates an added resonance in your voice. You feel your voice is pitchy. Maybe it just needs more practice. It needs more development. Maybe you need more time to allow yourself time to grow. But maybe you're not sleeping correctly or sleeping enough. Good? So hydration and sleep. Number 3, practice. Like any athlete, if you can have some skill, soccer skill, dribbling skill, whatever. But if you play for a team and you don't go for practice, they will not allow you in the game. You have to go for practice. Recite in the pace and at the tone that you intend reciting in Taraweeh. Because sometimes you're prepping softly, but now you're going to recite loud, you throw yourself off. Or you're prepping slowly, or vice versa, you're prepping fast, and the imam and whoever wants you to slow a bit down, throws you off. So you need to acclimatize, familiarize your own ear to your own voice. And then if you can find a microphone to practice on at home, because sometimes you practice without a mic, and you come to a mic and you sound different. And that also throws you off. Start too high, start too low, start off, false. Your ear, because your ear guides you. You're in sync. So many things happening. So hydrate, but the practice is important. Why? Because it develops the ability. Ear becomes more in tune, the muscles are developed, and your voice also strengthens. Good. So this is before even leading. Some guys just revise, make door softly. No, you have to practice out loud. Not too loud, just vocalize. And then, okay, so here's a kicker. This is important, extremely important. Breathing. We want to address nerves. Breathing correctly helps you control your nerves. Beyond breath being the vehicle for sound, how is sound produced in your throat? By air passing through your vocal cords, your vocal box. If you don't have enough air, can't produce proficiently, efficiently, sufficiently. So air. Now how do you breathe correctly? And if you breathe correctly too, it will help you with your nerves. So I'm gonna teach you 2 breathing techniques, exercises, that you must do. But the most important that all the Egyptians will tell you, reciters, they'll tell you to breathe using your diaphragm. Now, put your hand on your tummy, any hand. Okay, breathe out, exhale. Inhale. Now, when you inhaled, okay, exhale. When you inhaled, did your chest rise first or did your tummy push out when you inhaled? If your tummy pushed out, then you're using your diaphragm correctly. But if your chest pushed up, then you're not using your diaphragm at all. Then you are a surface breather. So when you inhale, now have you ever seen a baby, an infant, laying on his or her back? When they sleep, what happens? Their tummy rises and drops. Because naturally we do that. Naturally we use diaphragmatic breathing. So if you inhale And if you're not used to doing it, you're going to have to do it consciously now. Think about it. Push your tummy slowly out when you inhale. And when you exhale, your tummy is supposed to go in. So if I inhale, watch here, if you can see. This did not even move. And if I wanted to, I can fill more from the top. Why? Because when you push out your diaphragm, you're allowing your lungs to fill from the bottom. And you have more space here. Does it make logical sense? Nah. Otherwise you just hear nothing here. Good. So diaphragmatic. Research it. You search so many things on YouTube. Search diaphragmatic breathing. There's a silent G in diaphragmatic, right? You spell it correctly and then you see so many clips to guide you. Why is this important? Because it relaxes you immediately if you breathe deeply. It relaxes and calms your nerves. And secondly, you're activating your muscles and your lungs for what's to come because you're an athlete. No one who has not, or rather, anyone who has not led Taraweeh would be wrong to say or give an opinion regarding it. Anyone who has not led Taraweeh would be wrong to give an opinion regarding it because they don't know what it's all about. Only you know. It's not a joke standing and leading there in front, isn't it? Now, and every bit is important and every bit helps. So before, hydrate sufficiently, not only from water, your veggies and your fruits. And then sleep, get enough sleep, good sleep. Practice reading out loud in the pace, most likely, and the tone that you are to lead with, so your ear acclimatizes and gets used to it. And by practicing regularly out loud, you are strengthening your vocal cords and improving on your ability. Number 3, breathing deep from the diaphragm settles your nerves. 2 exercises. The one is called box breathing. You inhale, and then you hold to the count of 4 or 5, and then you exhale, and then you hold again to the count of 4 or 5 before you inhale for the first time. So it's a box. Inhale, hold, exhale, hold, inhale, hold, exhale, hold. This develops your muscles, develops your control, and strengthens your lungs. Do you believe me? You do this daily, morning, afternoon, evening, say for 3-4 minutes at a time. You see, after a week, your ability to recite longer pieces will improve, inshallah. It comes with exercise. There's no secret pill, tablet, there's no secret technique. It's all about working the body. And the body is unique. Allah has created it uniquely. لَقَدْ خَلَقْنَا الْإِنسَانَ فِي أَحْسَنِ تَقْوِيمٍ. Taqweem does not mean form. Taqweem on the second scale means enabling an ability to be able to stand by yourself. There's room for development all the time. So will you attempt the box breathing? Naam. There are those who can inhale slowly to the count of 20, hold for 20, exhale slowly for the count of 20, and hold again for 20 before they start the cycle again. The more you can do it, the better. It will help you. Reciting is not like speaking. You need enough breath and you need your lungs to be stronger and you need your lungs to be activated and the muscles around it too. Otherwise it will collapse. Good. And then the 5th note regarding the first point. The first point is what? There are 5 points and each point has 5 notes. First point is discussing before Taraweeh. Hydrate, sleep, practice, breathe deeply, and then number 5, warm up. Now again, you can check online, warming up the voice, and generally you find singers speaking about this. But you, in vocalization, again, beyond what we use our voices for, in speaking, this requires more tension. So like any athlete, you need to warm up the voice. So how do you warm up the voice? The simplest way is to hum. How many times do my vocal cords vibrate on a low key minimum? 60. The more you do, the more. So you're going to use it a lot, it needs to warm up. Without pushing. And then you can do a few steps. Play around with it. Now you will not find opportunity to do this in the masjid, in the saf, when you're standing behind the other Hafiz. You're going to have to do it in the car on the way. Okay? In the car on the way. Or you can try. You with me? Maybe you want to comment on something. The Hafiz maybe made taslim, so there's a small breather saying, hey, pai go slower, or pai go faster, or whatever, change this, or you to repeat the ayah, but you in your mind, you're just warming up your voice, using it. Going full force like that, you can dry up. At full force like that, you can tire early. On average, you're supposed to be warming up 5 minutes before rendition. So that's the first easy way. What? Warming up. Second way is by using fricatives. Say the word. You're going to say it and you're going to research later. Fricative is if you vocalize in a way where the sound that you are producing and the air that you are releasing is disturbed. It creates some pressure in the voice, and somehow that pressure, there are other ways also I'll show you, somehow that pressure is good for the chords. They're warming up and they're strengthening. A fricative in Arabic there are two, right? It's za, z, and some Egyptian mashayikh do this. Reciters, see them. Salah. They do this. If they're not humming, you hear them. Check if the chords move. It's a fricative. In English, you have V. You have J. So in Arabic, you have, I said, two. The za and the dhal. Somehow, this friction, SOVC, I'll send you something that voice therapists use. This is one easy way by using a fricative to put pressure on the chords and warm it up and strengthen it. Do you believe me? You're thinking, what is this man talking about? And then the third thing, now I drove with Dr. Imran from the house where we came now to the masjid. And so he's a doctor, so I asked him, Doc, do you mind me just doing it? He said, no, he said, go ahead. So I did something there because I knew I had to lead, and I never slept last night. Make dua for me. This happens to me, man. Get excited, I can't switch off. And mind go from, and you need to sleep, like I said. Anyway, so I just need to check if everything's fine. And so I did something in the car. I first hummed a bit. And he's driving, he just, I don't know what he's thinking. And then I did something they call strawberries. You do this. I did it. You can ask him later. But you're putting pressure on the chords, but it's apparently gentle. It's apparently gentle, just to warm up. Now, over the past year and a half, 2 years, now with age, I realize when you're younger, you just push, you eat anything, drink anything, and do whatever. But the older you become, it's almost like your body becomes more sensitive to things. And I realized these things need to be addressed. And if you can develop these habits from young, you hopefully, inshallah, will be able to see your gift preserved for longer. Inshallah. So, warm-ups, you will research warm-ups. That's the most basic. Humming, fricatives, and then there are other things like bubbles and things. You know Mullah Ahmad Dokrat from Springs? You know how his voice was a few years back, right? And how his voice is now. One of the things they made him do, which is also part of that at SOV, where you put pressure on the vocal cords, they made him vocalize when blowing into a straw in water. It's a unique therapy. Water, straw, ask him when you meet him. And they made him blow into the straw, but while blowing, vocalizing. And it filled out his voice. Did you hear him now? Okay. So those are the 5 notes under point number 1. Point number 1 is you need to address your voice and yourself before the Taraweeh, before the rendition. So hydration, sleeping, practice, breathing from the diaphragm and exercise and warm-ups. Now, number 2, what do you have to abstain from? Many ask, what shouldn't I eat or drink? So there are basic things, and again, each point you can research. Number 1, caffeine. Coffees and your general teas have caffeine. You know what they are? Have any of you gone to an ENT specialist, ear, nose and throat specialist? Any of you? If you know someone, go. Just for advice. Any ENT specialist, ear, nose and throat specialist will tell you that caffeine found in coffees and general teas are diuretics. D-I-U-R-E-T-I-C-S. They dry you out. For every cup of coffee you drink, you have to drink 2 glasses of water to counter the dehydration. La hawla wa la quwwata illa billah. So look at herbal teas, rooibos and others. The Egyptians have a range of herbal teas before their recitations and during their recitations. You know what's aniseed? You know what's fenugreek? Check all these words. Even cloves. They drink it like tea. Aniseed is, if you boil it, say 2-3 teaspoons in a pot of water. Say 5 cups of water, and you boil it. It turns like a dirty yellow. You can add honey if you want, but it's like a licorice liquid, soothing for the throat. It's good for digestion too. The more warm drinks, the better. Aniseed, fenugreek, a few others too. I know the Arabic names, I don't know the English. But yeah, research them. And cloves are good because cloves also anti-inflammatory, good for your throat. But caffeine, who of you will love coffee? So your body type, you see what works for you or not, but generally in the long run, can dry you out. So, caffeine, avoid gas-inducing foods. If I say gas-inducing foods, your tummy, right? If you're going to perform Taraweeh, obviously, some soups are good, soup. But some soups make you gassy. And if you burp, it affects your throat. Cabbage, beans, those types of foods, avoid them, abstain from them. Cold beverages. Look, nothing touches your vocal cords directly except one thing. I'll come to it. Right? Your vocal cords get closed when you consume food or drink. So cold drinks, cold beverages, icy drinks do not touch your vocal cords. But what they result in your throat muscles stiffening, tightening up to receive the coldness. And what's important is for you to be relaxed. That's why the warm drinks. You get the idea? The cold drinks don't affect your vocal cords. No, but they tense you up. And that's why reciters will prefer warm drinks, hot drinks, instead of cold. So abstain before. Try. And you're thinking, how can I recite for longer and maintain the quality of my voice? Try these things bit by bit. Try 1, 2, 3 and see. And then you observe how you felt the night. Try it for 2 nights and 3. By the 3rd night, your body gets used to it, etc. With me? And hopefully, inshallah, because you're tying your camel, you're trying. Your body has a right over you. And you understand, I'm not using my voice just like for normal speaking. This is different. I have to maintain and care for it. So, caffeine, gas-inducing foods, cold beverages. And now, you have to research acid reflux and its triggers. Have you ever heard of reciters saying they don't eat spicy foods and chili foods? Why? Not because it's going to affect the cords directly, but it could induce reflux. And the reflux can affect your vocal box. I struggled with reflux, and I still have to manage it and maintain it. It affected me to the extent just over a year and a half ago. Whenever I want to recite, I get spasms. My throat tightens up and it sounds like I want to cry. I did the khutbah of nikah once and it happened. So one doctor comes to me and he said, I never ever thought I would hear someone become emotional when they do the khutbah of nikah, Maulana. I said, doctor, that was no emotion, that was involuntary. So if you go again to a gastroenterologist, word, hear these terms. They put the scope down. I'm short, right? So after the thingy, he told me, you know what? We put the scope into you. It went 75 centimeters down. I told a colleague of mine, he said, 75 centimeters down you? It must have reached your toes. But it goes in your colons, must this way and that. Anyway, so they found scarring on my esophagus. Acid. Reflux. Not supposed to be there. You feel pressure. You feel this dryness when you wake up in the mornings, etc. You feel a dry pinch that forces you to cough. Try to avoid coughing. You with me? So the only reason why qaris abstain from food that's too spicy or too chilly, because it's a known trigger. Many acidic foods also triggers. Caffeine is also a acid reflux trigger. You know what's also a reflux trigger? Gluten. I'm off bread and rolls for more than a year and a half now. Tough. I haven't eaten bread and rolls for. But because I succumbed to it. It's years, man. Just have to balance. Maybe just eat a bit less, but not so. Let's see. And okay, now I didn't include this, but you have to research gut health. Nabi Muhammad spoke about the tummy, the belly, and it's a wi'a, it's a container, it's the worst container that the human being fills. And from it you find all the illnesses. Research gut health. Your lassi is good for gut health. Plain yogurt is good for gut health. Amasi is good for gut health. Fermented foods, good for gut health. Tummy. You want to recite clearly? To keep this clear, you do not want anything from inside. We were addressing things externally affecting it. Here's internal potential effects. So, this is what abstaining here. And then extremes. Number 5, so no caffeine, gas-inducing foods, cold beverages, don't want to tense up, acid-triggering foods and drinks, and then extremes when eating. Extremes, some Huffadh do not eat at all before Taraweeh. And others eat too much before Taraweeh, and then when they burp, you know what they had. So there has to be balance. You need something in your tummy. You need because your body draws energy from your food. Body draws energy from your food and from the oxygen you inhale. Both. Research it. The body draws energy from the food you eat. That's how you get calories and all. And from the air you inhale. You need something in your belly. You can't go empty. Just one date and all because you're afraid. No. You need something. One small plate of food at least, etc. Don't overdo it, then you're uncomfortable again. So those are the 5, what you should abstain from. Okay, during Taraweeh. Start slow if possible, number 1. This is important. Start slow and low. Okay, forget the slow because you're reading harder, you're reading fast. What's important? Low in your voice. You don't want to push it at the start. I used to get excited. Sometimes I think of the ayah, I'm reciting the ayah and the meaning. I feel I must express in the meaning. And then I start going high in the first rak'ah. By my 8th rak'ah, then I can feel my voice is weakened. I push too early. So start low. Start low if possible. Then you can always build up. Right? Number 1. Number 2, relax your neck and shoulders because you tense up. There are exercises you can do. And one of the most easiest exercises is tighten and release. So what you do is you tighten it. And then you release. And then you stretch and release. Stretch. They say you must count to 10 or 15 and release. You need to be relaxed. With the anxiety also tense up naturally. Stay with me, sir. Right? So, number 1, start low if possible. Allow your voice to warm up even more. And then relax your neck and shoulders. And then use the microphone to your advantage. Sometimes, if you use the mic correctly, look at some Egyptian reciters, their mouths are on the mic. Literally, sometimes the cameras are on the side, you can see it's touching the mic. It's supposed to work for me. With me? You can't have a microphone and still scream, still shout. It's supposed to be enhancing. So use the mic to your advantage. Now this is a tricky one. Because we're reciting so fast, the time between ayat is short, right? Naturally, we inhale through our mouths. But if you can, every now and then, inhale through your nose. Your nose is a natural humidifier. For the first time in my life, I must say this, Mullah, and I was thinking, must I make the move? But I thought, no. For the first time in my life, I lead a salah now with a fan directly in front of me. Ya hawla wa la quwwata illa billah. I said, okay, ala Allah tawakkalna. Yeah. It'll dry me out if it was Taraweeh. It'll dry you out naturally. It's logic. Natural humidifier. Say subhanallah. Dust and whatever else plus humidity. It warms, even if the air is cold. It warms the air. So by the time it gets to your throat, it's body temperature. To research your nose. Amazing. So you try. So I try in Taraweeh, at least my first breath. My first breath after Fatiha, before I start, through my nose. And then I go. In between, if I can again. Because sometimes you pause too long to breathe through your nose and khidi manaan. They give lukma. So you took too long. But for the warmth here and to keep it moist, try. So start low if possible. You can always build up. That's from my own experience. Relax your neck and shoulders. Use the microphone to your advantage. Inhale through your nose when possible. And hydrate in between. In between rakat. Suck on something. Have some honey. Drink some water. Sometimes water, you feel as if your mouth is more dry after you. Have you ever experienced that? You drink some water and it feels like it's more dry. So I have a flask there, some honey water. You know what is good? Last year I explored. A few nights I would have some cinnamon and honey. Very nice, soothing. Cinnamon. Mint is good for some, but mint is a trigger for me. It triggers my reflux. Peppermint, spearmint, it triggers my reflux. You must explore. See what works for you. Our body types are different and what we are sensitive to varies. See a nutritionist if you can. Ask. It's your body is right over you. And these people have studied. So فَاسْأَلُوا أَهْلَ الذِّكْرِ إِن كُنْتُمْ لَا تَعْلَمُونَ. So flask. Some nights I would have only honey water. Some nights I would have honey water with what? Cinnamon. Sometimes honey water, cinnamon and cloves. Sometimes, now this you must research and find. And there's a word in Urdu for it, and the community here knows it. I must ask Mufti Amir of Laudium, yeah. When I showed him, I had a licorice root, sticks. He said his father gave everyone during COVID, he gave them that. Good for your lungs, good for your throat. It soothes you. Licorice root, research it, you find. The stick, you boil it. It's a beautiful taste. You don't even need to add any sugar or honey. It has its own sweet, lovely taste. And you drink it, it like forms like a type of a layer over your throat. Beautiful. It lasts for a few minutes and you drink some more afterwards. So that's in between. So hydrate in between. So those are your fives during. Start low, relax your neck and shoulders, use the microphone to your advantage, inhale from your nose when possible, and hydrate in between. Good? So the first was before. Second was abstain from. Third is during. Now after Taraweeh. You're done. May Allah open your hearts and your minds, our hearts and our minds, and grant acceptance, Ya Rabb. But now you're done for the night. Like you warmed up, you need to cool down. Were you ever done with Taraweeh and then your voice is on a high, or it's lighter, you have no more bass? It's dried out. It's higher than normal. Has it ever happened to you? Huh? Because you were pushing this muscle. This muscle is tense. It's tense now. It's warmed up. It's pushed. It's there. You need to cool it down. And the simplest way to cool down, sir, I'm not making this up. The coolest way to cool down is to hum again. Lightly. And don't scream. Screaming and whispering are harmful to your voice. Shouting, don't shout and research this. These are by people who have been using their voices for years. Teachers, you with me? Lecturers, orators, singers. Like you warm up, cool down. Just let it relax again. It's tense. It was worked and makar. Imagine 60 just when you're speaking. How many vibrations now? And if I'm pushing, up and down and Taraweeh in that level of rendition, it's like hundreds of vibrations per second. And you don't want to develop complications with your throat. Allah protect us all, say Ameen. Because they can be, I know people who had to go for operations on there because they developed polyps, growths on their throats. They were not hydrated enough. They used to push the vocal cords, put pressure on it, etc., etc. Something gives in. Allah protect you. So hum, cool down. So afterwards, hum lightly. And then, I love doing this. Gargle. Gargle with lukewarm water and salt. Kills bacteria and addresses any swelling. Have any of you gargled? After Taraweeh, it's healthy, it's very good. Gargle with lukewarm water and salt. If you have Himalayan salt, it's even better, but any salt will work. What does it do? Kills any bacteria. And it addresses any swelling. And then number 3. I said earlier, nothing touches your vocal cords directly. Except one thing, right? What's the one thing? Steaming. Kettle boiling water in a pot, a towel over your head. Vocalize even if you can with it. It's like a mist. A mist. It's like a spa treatment to your vocal cords. Good for any potential swelling too. Amazing. I'm lazy to do it, but we have to do it from time to time. It helps. Especially if you're using your voice more than the regular citizen. Are you with me, sir? Can you picture yourself still with a towel over your head there just steaming? Maybe you did it during COVID or other times when you had a cold, etc. But after Taraweeh, so humming lightly, that's cooling down. Gargling, steaming, and then voice rest. Some ENT specialists, you go to them and tell you need voice rest, you're talking too much. Some say for every hour of vocalization, you need a minimum of 5 minutes vocal rest. Meaning say nothing, just go silent. Like any other muscle. Voice rest. Some guys after Taraweeh, they're on a high. They don't want to go sleep. They go to Akhalwayas and wherever else. Is there Akhalwayas here? Yeah. And then the guys opposite the road, talking, calling him from there. You had a marathon. You just had a marathon and now you want to push again. And then tomorrow night you want to pop Maulana. You need voice rest. So, hum lightly, gargling, steam, voice rest, and this is an issue. I know we all are hungry after Taraweeh. But you know what's another trigger, Maulana, for acid reflux? Is eating too late. So if you eat too late, or eat late, and there's not a 2-hour period between your last meal and your sleep, 2 hours at least, between your last meal and sleep, you need to take something, an antacid like Gaviscon or something. Or drink some milk, or have some plain yogurt, lassi afterwards. Or they tell you, if you're forced to eat late, if you can't help it, you're hungry, and you have to go sleep soon after, they say, lay with the upper part of your body raised. No khatamansu slap, especially if you're married. You can't raise half of the bed in the other. So it's a challenge for us. Last year, 2 Ramadans in a row were the first times, because I had this issue with the reflux, were the first times in my life that I would break my fast with dates and fruit and water, go for Maghrib, and then I would have 1 plate of food, and after Taraweeh, I would have nothing. You know how I woke up in the morning for Sehri? I woke up ravenous, hungry. My Sehris were bigger than my iftars. Because you don't want to have that issue. I make dua, you don't have that issue. There's those types of spasm things. And you know what the ENT specialist told me? He said, I can understand why you're concerned because you're a teacher, etc. You speak, you lecture. But he says some get those spasms when they have to swallow food and they can't swallow food. And they go on meds. I didn't want to be on meds, so I was strict with the diet. Anyway, so after Taraweeh, hum to cool down. Gargle, lukewarm water, salt. And there are things, and you may know some remedies. You know you know cayenne pepper? Cayenne pepper? Cayenne or cayenne pepper, the red one. And even black pepper. Sometimes if you have a sore throat, try gargling with lukewarm water, salt and cayenne pepper. The anti-inflammatory potential is profound. And you can add bicarbonate of soda. Amazing if you gargle with it for your throat. Forms a layer through your throat and soothes it. You know, bicarb. It's good to gargle with. So those are the 5, eh? A voice rest, so hum lightly, gargle, steam, voice rest, and do not eat too late. Okay, those are it. I have the last point, the 5th of the points. What was the first point we discussed with the 5 notes? What to do before Taraweeh. And then what to abstain from. What to do during Taraweeh. What after. And now lastly, general reminders. And I said I wouldn't address maybe these types of things, but the first 2 in particular I have to, because it's a reminder for myself too. And it helps us just realign our perspective. You observe all the above. You hydrate, okay, you're gargling, you're abstaining from certain foods, and you're taking your other drinks, etc. But you observe all the above, but you realize that you still have to make dua and you have to place your trust in Allah. Likewise with your door. You can prep however much you want and check by your colleague, but on that musalla is something else. You have to say, Ya Allah, you help me. I did what I could, but anything could happen. So likewise this. There are certain things we've come to know through experience and certain things through research and observation. However, dua, Allah to help and enable and protect, and placing my trust in Him. That's number 1 in general. This is not general reminders. Number 2, my niyyah and perspective. My niyyah and my perspective can also help calm me. My perspective, I'm not just seeing this and everyone's eyes are on me and this and that and the pressure and what are they going to think if I must make too many mistakes. No. It's ibadah. It's Allah's word. Where am I to even feel myself, eligible for this? I'm trying, Ya Rabb. And the main thing is, it can be flawless, but it may not be worthy of acceptance. It can have flaws, but it's worthy of acceptance because I'm doing it for Him. It helps with my nerves. It helps just realigning the mind. Well, may help with the emotion because we are thinking beings. Good. So number 1, even though I'm going to observe and try all these various things, my dua and tawakkul. Number 2, my niyyah and perspective. Number 3, you're going to ask me about throat sprays and lozenges and warm drinks to soothe the sore throat, etc. I mentioned some warm drinks in here. You try whatever. There are some good throat sprays. I have this one here. There's Andolex, and there are others too, anti-inflammatory, topical. Try this and that and see. As long as it has no side effects, Again, because you're an athlete and you're using your voice more than others, you have to tend to it, see to it. You don't have time to gargle, don't have time to steam. Lozenges, yeah. You all know what's strepsils. Do you know fisherman's friend? Fisherman's friend? Yeah. Do you know coughlette? Try coughlette with a K. Very good. See. And then there's the beautiful ones, the honey and the black seed, obviously. Those square ones. To soothe. And also they create more moisture in the mouth. And last but in no way least, if you have a problem, I'm not a doctor, right? You have a problem, Inquire about professionals. I already mentioned 2 types of professionals. ENT specialists, ear, nose and throat. Even if there's nothing a matter with you, go for some general advice. Sometimes I went so many. Have any of you gone to a doctor and they put a camera up your nostril, down and take a video and pick up your vocal cords? Have any of you done that? It's wild. Go and do it. The ENT is supposed to be able to do it. And then a gastroenterologist. Okay? But yeah, seek professionals. So number 1, in general reminders, dua and tawakkul beyond all that we try. Number 2, niyyah in your perspective. Number 3, you take additional things like lozenges, throat sprays. Yeah, we try them, etc. As long as they have no side effects. And then natural remedies. Natural remedies. Any of you drink lemon water, ginger, garlic and other things? Yeah, try them, especially if they're natural. Just to boost your immune and soothe the throat. I mentioned the aniseed and I mentioned the fenugreek and those types of things. And I mentioned the licorice root. There's something called slippery elm. See that too, slippery elm, good for the throat. And then fifth and last, consult professionals, medical or alternative. Okay, that's all I intended to share based on the request to address nerves and to address breath and to address potential vocal fatigue. So in the last few minutes, are there any questions from your side? Any difference in winter and summer? The issue we have with summer is exposure to extremes. It's hot and then you're exposed to the aircon. And that can mess with your system because you're sweating and then it's cooled unnaturally through the aircon, etc. You can catch a cold. So just be careful, boost your immune, etc. I try to. But if you're going to catch something, you're going to catch something. You know what I mean? But you try. So at Awal Masjid where the Imam stands, it's quite in a corner. There's no ventilation. And there's one aircon and it's behind. So if it's on, it hits me in the neck. So I stand with a scarf even if it's hot. You know? Or I ask them to put it off. Or I have a compromise. 2 rakat off, 2 rakat on or something. You know? Anyway, but in the cold weather again, I actually prefer the cold. But the thing about cold is when you're outside, remember your nose is the humidifier. So when you do speak, etc., just watch. Cape Town has more wind than here. I would think here it's a dry cold. No? Cape Town is a windy cold. So if I'm open-mouthed outside a lot, I'm asking for trouble. Are you with me with the wind and everything? But here it's more from under. The cold is from under. So I don't think with these advices, whether the hydration or whether it's the things to abstain from or whether I don't think there would be any major differences, inshallah. Allah, Allah, Allah. Yeah, so like in hot weather, right? And you find like I saw like Sheikh al-Tablawi. He would drink ice cold drinks even before going to a program, no problem. But the quality of his voice, he had a husky voice naturally. So even if it affected him, it wouldn't be an issue because he sounds like that normally. But I know other reciters are more particular because they have naturally more clear voices, and any change in their diet and what they expose themselves to can be heard in the vocalization. You with me? But everyone's different. So what I'm saying is, these are general advices, but you have to learn to know yourself. What affects me, like the mint affects me, it's a trigger. It might not affect you. For you, the mint is soothing. It helps you. Different body type. Some bodies are cold. Some bodies are hot. You know Zain Bika? So you know his father who passed away? Rashid Bika. They have this Tib center, Unani Tib. So they study their body types. Yeah? So you research, or they have like 4 categories of body types. 4 categories. And based on their research and observation and experience, they can see even dietary guidelines, what suits you, what does not, and things. It affects you, brings different things out within you. So research and see. It's quite intriguing. So cold water might have no effect on it. It might even refresh you or energize you. Whereas for me, it might tense me up because I'm a different type of person.
Any other questions, brothers?
I hope this is what you had in mind when you came to these types of content, because it's not content that's generally shared amongst us. You with me? We left to our own devices, or we hear things from here and there. Or our ustad had certain preferences, so we just latch on. So I think it's good in a way, because it's a marathon every night for at least 27 to 29 nights. And again, only those who have experienced it will know what it's about. Mhm. Okay, so generally me too, it happens. I don't like I don't like speaking and engaging too many people before. You know what I mean? Just, you need to watch your mindset and your mood. You need to be calm, pleasant, etc. You're already naturally anxious. So sometimes someone says something can disturb you, man. Upset you. So the two things I mentioned: internal dialogue, your intention, your perspective, your niyyah, and from a practical and experienced angle, the breathing will help you, inshallah. Because your heart rate, generally, you get into a fight and flight. You know what's the parasympathetic mode? So fight or flight, right? Mode. So your pulse increases and you maybe sweat and this and that. Your breathing calms you down. One of the most basic ways to shift your state from a parasympathetic to a sympathetic and all is by breathing deeply and humming, apparently, because your vagus nerve, research, the vagus nerve is the longest nerve in your body. Your vagus nerve is connected to your parasympathetic state. So deep breathing calms you, affects the vagus nerve, and humming also calms you and affects the vagus nerve. Vagus, V-A-G-U-S. So those two things, there are medication. There's like natural medication that can calm you. There's something you can research. It's called. They say really calm, but it's R-E-L-I. Calm. It's a natural product. R-E-L-I. Calm. They say it'll calm you for up to 5 hours. Herbs. It's all herbs, plant-based. But just try the box breathing. In, hold. Out, hold. Just a rotation for, say, 4 or 5 cycles. Your pulse will calm. You'll become less sweaty. Just see, it'll relax you. The other exercise I did not tell you. I said there were 2 exercises. The other one is called cyclic breathing. You inhale with your belly first, right? Full. You top up with your chest, full. And then you force a swallow. You force yourself to swallow. Your lung consists of air sacs. And with our posture, sometimes these air sacs are compressed. You with me? Compressed. So when you force a swallow, it's as if you force the final air sacs to open. And then you exhale for as long as you can. Time it like this. So in. And the exhale you must time. Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. Time. If you do that every day, at least twice or thrice per day, in a week you see the amount you are able to exhale would increase. Yes. Just practice. Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. But even that one can calm you. With Allah's permission. So it's so I don't need to comment on smoking regarding your body, right? But also it's bad for the voice, bad for the vocal box. But I'm not to say. All I can say is the smoker should give it a try and see. Inshallah, it should help somehow. But his body, the smoker's body, is going to be in a battle because on the one hand, it's receiving the smoke, and on the other hand, it's getting deep breathing. So with me, it's going to be an internal battle all the time. Sorry. Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. La ilaha illallah Muhammadur Rasulullah. I asked the ENT specialist the exact same question. He said 2 ways. Bricks under the what? Bed legs, just by the head side. That's one option if your wife agrees. The other option is pillows. Additional pillows. So 2 for your head, 2 for your neck and all, and then 1 under you if possible. It's uncomfortable. I tried it. Uncomfortable, but he says if you don't want and you're forced to eat, then they don't have a solution. Cure will only come from Allah Jalla Jalla. They're trying to address the symptoms. But they would actually say 2 to 3 hours before going to bed. Must allow your body some level of digestion before you lay flat. That's it, essentially. Your voice sounds very clear, mashallah, by the way. So I pray Allah protects it and increases the clarity and all. But yeah, look after it, sir. So research. You're athletes, you're using your voices more than everyone else, and it needs to be cared for. We make dua for afiyah, complete well-being. We make dua for protection. We make dua for guidance. We make dua for clarity, for ease. We make dua for barakah in our time, especially in the Ramadan ahead. And we make dua for acceptance. Ameen. There's nothing else, and we can. Yes? Amazing. What's it called? Incentives. How do you spell the second word? Incentives what? Spirometry. Spirometry. Interesting. Good research. Superb. Superb. Interesting. So, doctor? Physio. Oh, mashallah. Anything that I mentioned that needs to be aligned or amended or rectified? All correct. Shukran. Okay. Thank you. Thank you very much. Take a look. Okay. Can we then conclude? Excellent. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك نشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت نستغفرك ونتوب إليك وصلى الله تعالى على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين وسلام على المرسلين الحمد لله رب العالمين.